Hey guys, welcome to my new Rapid Claws PCs video. Today we're going to be building a $600 budget gaming PC. Now this PC is going to be focused a little bit into looks, but it's going to offer some great performance for its price. And we're also going to be integrating some used parts. So be sure to be checking out Facebook Marketplace for these parts because you could find some really good deals. So why don't we go over the parts and let's see what we got. Alright guys, so to start today's video, I'm going to be introducing our CPU for this build. I was able to find on Facebook Marketplace a Ryzen 5 5500. And I was able to find it for $50, which was a really good deal. So maybe you guys could look for something like that around that price. I think this is a good CPU for this budget because it offers great performance and it's really not far off from the 5600. And yeah. Now for the most important part, I was able to find some GSkill Ripjaws RAM. I was able to buy 2 sticks of 8 gigabytes, which offer 3600 megahertz, and I was able to find them for $60, which honestly this year is a really good price because this type of RAM brand new, you would have to find it for at least $200. But I was able to find it for $60. The guy had it on for like 80, but I was able to negotiate down to 60. So guys, now for the motherboard. I was able to find this MSI MPG B550 gaming. I found it on Amazon used or refurbished for like $30 less. I was able to buy it at 95, which used it would cost about 120. So I thought that was a good deal, that was worth it. So we're gonna test it out today if it works out and it looks good. But yeah, you guys could also buy it as new for 120 if you really don't want to take that risk. And to power this whole PC, I was able to find this Thermaltake Smart series. It's a 700 watt power supply, and I was able to find it for $55, which is honestly really good. I've worked with these power supplies before and they've never failed on me, so I think this is a good deal that you guys should consider if you're thinking of buying the $600 PC. I was able to find this XFX GPU. It's the RX 7600, which offers great performance, and it's comparable to the 2080. I was able to find this at 180, which is a good deal for its performance. You could compare it to the 2070 Super, which is really good. This one is a little bit better. So yeah, make sure you guys look for something similar. But again, if you guys find a 2070 Super or a 2080 around that price, 150 to 200, you should be good with those because that's a good deal this year. And you guys might be wondering what the cooler is going to be for the CPU. Well, we're going to use the stock cooler. We're going to be spray painting it white so that it matches the build. And yeah, I think that should be enough for the 5500. And then again, we're also going to be using some custom cables from Asiahorse. They're going to be white extension cables for the power supply. And then for the case, I'm going to be introducing that later on the video so that you guys can see the whole build process. Alright guys, so that was most of the parts. So why don't we go build this $600 budget gaming PC. Alright guys, so here we're starting with the motherboard. We're just going to take it out of the box. So like I said, we have the Ryzen 5 5500. We're just going to be installing that. Make sure when you're buying used CPUs that all the pins look good. You want to close up and then just make sure everything's straight there and none of the pins are bent. Alright, so we look good, so we're going to be installing this now. You want to make sure you match the corners. Like right there you can see there's an arrow, and there should be an arrow here too. And it should fall in like that, easy. Alright guys, so now we close this small handle. And we also want to remove these two guys for when we install the cooler. Alright guys, so now we're going to be installing the RAM. You want to open these up. It's usually the second and fourth one, but the motherboard says it usually like around this area, and this one says it's the second and fourth one, so that's where we'll do it. You want to make sure to align here, because you don't want to break this as a specific empty pin. And you want to make sure you put it in the right position before with both hands until you hear the click. And then same thing with the other one. Alright guys, so now for the SSD, we're gonna have I had a spare 2 terabyte one, but you guys can definitely find one for 500 gigabytes for about 50 bucks at most. Or 1 terabyte for 100 bucks. But I'm gonna be using this one today. So let's unscrew the cover. And we want to install this guy on a 45-degree angle. Make sure it's facing the right way. And once it's in there, we put in the cover back. Alright guys, and now to prepare the CPU cooler for spray painting, we're gonna be removing 2 small screws that are in the outer shell of the cooler. And once we remove these, we're gonna be able to separate the outer shell. And you wanna put it in like some cardboard or something so that you don't like spray accidentally the floor. And then you wanna do a light coat at first. And then wait around 30 minutes or so, or maybe an hour, to do a second coat. And then just do like 4 coats, or maybe 5. Although I think 4 should be fine. And you want to make them light so that, you know, it doesn't cause like any drips. And now I'm just going to be showing you the build, guys, so stay tuned. Alright guys, so now I'm just gonna boot up the computer. Hopefully it goes straight into the BIOS, but of course you see it turned on. And now as we can see, it will go straight into the BIOS, so we're basically done. So I'm gonna download Windows and get it ready for the montage. Okay, so that was a successful build, guys. Every used part worked properly. So now I'm just gonna be playing some games so that we can test it out and you guys can see on the screen the actual FPS that we're getting. So this next section is just gonna be the game, so enjoy, guys.
Use your tag map to hunt down the rest of them.